we watch the intro one more time?
Sure.
Now we know who that lady is.
Yeah.
Ashira! Why is she so grumpy? She got to sleep for like 800 years on a bed of roses. What's your problem? She has a badass dress, though.
I know.
I like that dress.
The Imperious God Queen
thing.
Yeah.
Dun 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 dun.
Radiant Dawn, can be so dumb, especially compared to Path of Radiance, but we still love it.
But at least the horse's legs bend the right way.
Yeah. That's all that matters to us, is that the horse's
That's
legs.
really all that matters.
That's really all we need.
But I actually think that put together Path of Radiance and Radiant Dawn, Path of Radiant
They
Dawn,
make a really good whole, I think.
They do. I'm really glad that Radiant Dawn really ties up all of the, like, character things. Like, we find out who the Black Knight is. It makes sense who the Black Knight was. You find
It's
out...
like in this great fridge brilliance way, which is like the best way for a plot twist to make sense. So
Yeah.
It's like, look, retrospectively, it's genius.
Yeah, of course. Of course it's like that. Why didn't I think of it? And I like that we can see that we get so many people back from Path of Radiance and Radiant Dawn. I like that for the most part they're kind of better in Radiant Dawn with the exception of this.
I like that in this kind of fantastic but ridiculous way we get to overthrow the senators. I mean, we could have done it in like a more... I would have been happy if we did it in a more like, conventional way, but it's still awesome.
Yeah. We get to kill all the mean senators.
Yeah.
We get to frickin' overthrow a religion. I mean, how many times do you get to do that?
Let's see, you do get to overthrow God in Final Fantasy X.
Okay.
Yeah. You get to subvert like the popular religion and overthrow God in that game.
Any others?
I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
But I like the fact that in Radiant Dawn it's not about like killing God, it's about
slapping some sense into God and having them go to their corner where they can think
about what they've done.
Yeah.
And now let us get on with our beautiful flawed existences.
Sometimes making decisions that absolutely make no logical sense, like
making games like this.
Micaiah, still, I do feel Micaiah was greatly mishandled, kind of starting in part 3, where she's like siding with Peleus without question.
Ike is always epic, though.
Yeah. The game designers are such Ike fanboys.
Yeah, but can you blame them, really? Alright, here we go. On to the final part of the Endgame of this very, very, very long...
Yeah, 96 hours-ish.
I am ready for my rebirth, personally. I'm ready to get on to re-adolescence.
Leron, I will not countenance this plan.
Hear me, Goddess Ashra. Yune's imprisonment within the medallion has begun to change you.
You're not the same.
Order
You
and
never
chaos.
call.
You are one being, comprising both parts. The one must naturally affect the other.
Even so, I will not return Yune to this body. She is at stake.
Do we have to get Ashtaka to hold her up over a mountain?
In order to protect.
Ashira! We give you back your better half!
It is
Take it and leave us alone, please!
Yune must be destroyed.
I don't know.
Ashra, you mustn't. You cannot survive without your opposite.
If Dr.
Please,
Jekyll and
you
Edward
must
Hyde
not do
were
this.
the
Your
gods
world
of a
still
realm.
needs
This is kind of what it's like.
You have ever been a wise and kind-hearted child.
Kind of.
Kind
In
of.
deference to you, I will place my faith in your kindness.
You know what you sound like? You sound like me when I'm like grinding for level ups. It's like, well, I'll try for the level up one more time, and if it doesn't get a good growth, I'll just go to BXP. One more time. Alright, one more time. Alright, more. God damn it, Makai! I know you can give me a 4-statter! That's all Ashira's doing. It's like, come on, world, give me a 4-statter! Even Ashira cannot screw with the RNG goddess.
Yes, the RNG
What
goddess.
is it? What is if we got to the end of the game and it was the RNG goddess we had to fight? She always hits, always criticals.
That kind of happens in Awakening.
Shit! That's
So it's like, because you know Anna.
Shush, no, they're having a moment.
Sorry.
Anna is the RNG goddess?
That's the headcanon of the fan canon.
Anna!
So long ago. I should like to hear it again. However, during this 1,000 years, if the chaos of war should arise and awaken...
The redhead looks like she wants you to keep a secret.
Yeah.
Yeah, that,
yeah, I know.
that Anna.
I know. She sold me physics stabs and fell contracts. She's nice.
And I will punish your failure, as I will reward your success. And then you will know my judgment. You will pay for your sins, each of you to the last.
In the names of our people, we vow to keep this covenant. There will be no great war between Lagos and Bjork for 1,000 years. So pledge Altina of the Bjork, Degensia of the Dragon Tribes, Soen of the Beast Tribes, and I, Leron of the Bird Tribes.
If you believe during this 1,000 years that you have created a world that has
I think that
outgrown
1,000
the
years
process
is
of war,
too short for
or
people to outgrow war. I think you need it like, well, if we're talking about Star Trek, you need at least
you may sing the call of
15,000.
release.
Yeah.
15,000.
Your heirs will possess
But also they were off to a really shaky start. What with the whole thing with Degensia and how he chose to handle
Yeah,
the
it's
birth
all
of...
Degensia's fault.
Yeah, Degensia kind of fucked up first.
Yeah. He went out of phase first.
Yeah.
And impartial.
Hi, cat.
This is our covenant with you.
I feel like Twilight sparkles sometimes. Why won't anyone be rational and reasonable?
Twilight Sparkle needs to get with Spock. They'll have so much to talk about.
Yeah.
Hold on a second, guys! It's, Ashira?
We need to talk.
Ashira? It's me, Yune. Can you hear me? Ashira? Please! Please listen to me! You don't need to pass any more judgment! Ixnay on the judgment! Okay? You can return the people to normal! I cannot. There are still people in my world who are made of fallible flesh. This imperfect world has passed beyond control. Now, I shall pass my final judgment. You can't violate the terms of the covenant, Ashira! 1,000 years still hasn't passed! We were woken by the Galder, not by mankind's war! It doesn't matter. During my long sleep, Bjork and Laguz continued to fight. The children of flesh will never learn nor grow. Time will pass as always, but nothing can change the destiny of humankind. You have to look deeper! The first judgment didn't turn everyone to stone, and I'll tell you why! Because these people are not people as we know them! Ashira, these people have become something new! People, the Zunanma, are the only living creatures of this world that we didn't create. Animals evolved to become Zunanma, who then became Laguz and Bjork. Because we separated them, which was a bad, I now see. But their evolution continues today. Ashira, I'll tell you a secret you didn't know. Children can be born of both a Bjork and a Laguz parent. They're not as separate as we thought. They're still very few in number, but if allowed to flourish, they might become anything. If the two races continue to evolve, I'm sure something wonderful will emerge. You can't just bring that to a halt. Do not claim certainty of anything. The children of this world are born of chaos, and nothing could be more uncertain. The world does not require the evolution of humans. My responsibility is to protect order, the balance of all life forms. Beings that evolve without my guidance will only destabilize and threaten this world. Because of that. You have to just wipe out everything made of flesh? Is that what you're trying to say? Fine! You and I have nothing more to talk about. My only choice is to defeat you! Yune, do not be absurd. You cannot overthrow me, just as I cannot overthrow you. Of course not. But they can! Everyone, the time has come! Defeat Ashira, or everyone you love will be a statue forever! These people, they carry your blessing, Yune. You mean to fight me?
Ashira, our goddess, this world. This is the world, and we are the people you created. You make it sound as if we're some sort of filthy creature that just decided to settle down here and cause trouble.
Don't say it like that!
We're not perfect. Sometimes our brains tell us one thing while our emotions tell us another. And war, the more we try to avoid it, the worse it is when it comes to us. People are probably the dumbest creatures alive.
But somehow you're also the most endearing. It's your perfections that make you so it's your imperfections that make you so interesting. Imperfections very similar to ours.
We know that we've messed up. We'll do our best to avoid more war and make peace our highest priority. Really, honestly, we don't like war very much. Ashira, but you have to let us live. You have to take that chance.
You expect me to reverse my judgment? The goddess of order cannot be so mercurial. My decision is final.
So that's how it's going to be, huh? Okay then. Then we will fight. And we will save our people. Make peace with whatever the gods worship. Your end is near.
My end is near.
In every battle that mattered in my life, I've always been the one left standing, no matter how slim my chances. This battle means more than any of the others, because it's for the life of every person that I've ever cared about. I will win this fight.
Awesome. Awesome.
Alright, guys. It's a mountain of hit points that can be unpredictable and kill us. This is Ashira. She is actually not as scary as she could be. Judge weighs her down something awful, but she packs a real punch, and she's got a lot of HP and a lot of defense. She's sitting on a heal stone, which adds to her avoid, which makes her kind of annoying to hit. The trick with Ashira is she's surrounded by, what is this, 8 auras?
Mm-hmm.
And these auras, they all have exactly the same... yeah, those are spirits. Whoops, I got to spirits. The auras all have exactly the same stats. They alternate between cover and wardwood. And they have a hidden ability called Aurora.
I think it's there. If you just look.
Oh, there they go. Aurora. Causes half of all damage received to be reflected back upon the assailant, unless the damage they receive kills them. So it's a killing blow. That's
and of course, the skill can be nullified by nihil.
By nihil or parity. So that's that. And you cannot attack Ashira, and Ashira will not attack you directly until all 8 auras have been killed. However, while you're busy killing her auras, she has a number of assholery-like moves to pull on you. She has an all-area attack, which is very, very powerful.
And it will do physical or magical damage at pretty much at her discretion.
Yeah.
She has, like, a distant single target attack that cannot be countered, and can target at, like, 2 or 1 space away from her. So
yeah.
She can use that if she wants to nuke one of your guys.
Yeah, and it could be physical or magical. It's pretty much, yeah, so you pretty much want to defeat her as quickly as possible, because it gets old really fast. So I am going to come here, and I am going to pick my team, and do one last bit of outfitting. I'm going to set up my skills, and when we come back, I'll be reading this info conversation, and we will go overthrow the forces of order? Yeah? We'll be right back, guys. Alright, we're back! I've done my battle preparations. I think what I want to do is I want to finally show you this team. This team! Here is Ike! Level 16 Vanguard, maxed everything except for magic.
Let's do that thing we did in Path of Radiance where we give our kind of character retrospective. Shall we?
Retrospective on Ike?
Or, remember Path of Radiance and just our thoughts and our characters now that we've actually trained them. Like, Ike is just a bamf.
Yeah, well, I knew that already.
Yeah, nothing unusual, just a bamf.
He's just a bamf. And just, yeah.
Yeah, I did think it was really neat how in part 1 as a hero, he had pretty much the exact same caps as a swordmaster from Fire Emblem 4. Which was kind of amazing.
No, Ike is awesome. I love him in this game. Look at his head.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Anyway. Micaiah! Maxed everything except for strength. Micaiah, I think that she's a great unit that was rather poorly served by the
writers
and just the way the game treats her. I think that I think she could have been better. And
yeah,
I understand why there are some people who don't like her very much, but
very, very much.
I understand why, but I think that's not her fault. I think she shouldn't be blamed for that.
Yeah.
Soniki! What can I say, Soniki? We gave her lots of big
yeah.
Just because Ford 340...
We wanted to see maximum power Soniki.
Yeah.
Strength doesn't count.
So close to capping strength, and one of my few characters to actually hit level 20 at 3rd tier.
Yeah.
I don't think... Yeah, Micaiah's the only one you get at level 1, and she's not going to get to level 20. Because this is the one chapter I do not grind.
Yeah.
Kurthnaga! Oh, look, he maxed skill.
Yeah, he did.
How about that? Kurthnaga, this is not the fully trained Kurthnaga. You can have a much stronger Kurthnaga than this. You
could get him up to double essence strikes, and it's pretty amazing. He becomes pretty much a miniature Degintia, only with more speed.
He's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I like him. Ina, we didn't train you hardly at all, and you are not as much.
She really suffers that she doesn't get both like red and white breath.
She should have red and white breath.
Yeah.
She should. She really should. I think so. She makes a much better endgame complement than Gareth.
Gareth is good if you plan on one-turning this.
Yeah. But if you bring Gareth on... Here's this little spoiler. If you bring an untrained Gareth on this map, pretty much the first chance she gets, Ashira targets him with her long-range magic-based attack and kills him dead! Yeah, because that's... her single-target long-range attack can double things that are too slow. Yep. And it can double Ina, but Ina's strong enough not for it to kill her. Yeah. Soren! Just as good as in Path of Radiance, except slow. Speed. Yeah. And if only Adept worked off of skill. So. No, he's awesome, and he did really, really well, surprisingly, with the Swordmaster skill combo. I was really surprised at that, and also really happy. Maybe their idea was that just having tomes, being able to attack at both close and long range against a defense stat that is usually very low,
Maybe that's why they...
I don't know. I don't know. I don't like the way magic is done in the Fire Emblem games, generally speaking. I mean, I think it's very limited, but for what he does, I think Soren's awesome. Soren's my personal favorite. I'm just gonna come out and say he's my personal favorite mage. Ilyana!
Again,
Why?
suffers kind of...
Speed! Why?
Again, suffers the same way that all mages do in Radiant Dawn. Slow. Why so slow?
I don't know. She has a higher strength.
It's all the food she eats because she's so hungry. She transmutes it into lightning and
she maxed
muscle.
her staff rank, which I'm very proud of her for that. Even though it's partly because I gave her lots of art scrolls.
Yeah.
Elyncia! Elyncia, you can finally see she's starting to hit her maxes. Elyncia, if you do manage to get her up to level 20, she's really good.
Yeah, I think we got really lucky with this Elyncia. Actually,
Did we get a bit lucky with this?
I think we did. I think Elyncia doesn't turn out quite this powerful.
We did get
usually when you train her.
She does have rather good strength, doesn't she?
Yeah, and like she's only like 3 points off maxing magic, like
2 points off magic.
Oh,
she maxes magic at 32.
All right.
I mean at 30 also.
2 points off magic, something like 1 or 2 points off skill. Probably only. Yeah.
I think she maxes speed at 36.
Yeah, 2 points. Just you get the idea. Elyncia, low starting base is amazing growth. Yeah. So, yeah, I personally think she is better in this game than in Path of Radiance. Partly because you have more time to have fun with her.
Yeah, mostly availability.
Yeah, mostly it's the availability.
And stat-wise, she carries over that thing from Path of Radiance, whereas Mist is slightly better stat-wise, but Elyncia has movement!
Yeah.
Peleus! Oh my god, Peleus.
I wish dark magic were like the cool, funky kind, rather than
Luna
just like...
on him.
Yeah.
FE7 Luna on Peleus.
Yeah.
Oh, I miss pulling out Luna on the Fire Dragon.
But what do you bet that? What do you bet that Nihil like blocks Luna's? Because that's kind of the annoying thing is that the skills are too powerful. Like the mastery skills are too powerful, and the counter to mastery skills is too powerful.
Right.
So it's like
yeah.
So it's like
what was it? You could crit the Fire Dragon. It was just really hard because it had really high luck.
Yeah.
Anyway, Peleus, this is my first time training Peleus, because this is only my second playthrough of the game, and I think he's pretty good. I was pleasantly surprised by him. And his battle model is excellent.
Yeah.
Nefany! But no comment, Nefany's awesome.
Yeah.
Nefany's awesome. I still like her. And I think she is slightly better for the endgame than Aaron, honestly.
Yeah,
having seen endgames with Aaron as the Sentinel and Nefany with the Sentinel, I think Nefany is a slightly better endgame Sentinel.
Yeah.
Just because of the speed and resistance. Jerk.
Marksman. It doesn't matter that this is Shinnon or Rolf or
Leonardo.
We're talking about this. We have a marksman.
Yeah. The difference between Shinnon, Leonardo, and Rolf is that the last thing they cap will be different in each one. Like Shinnon, it was his luck and resistance that took the longest to cap, and Leo it would probably be his strength and speed.
Yeah,
and Rolf, I don't know. I actually think it would be.
If you really think about it, Rolf is actually probably the best. Yeah. Because he has access to the triangle attack if you're bringing Boyd and Oscar.
I think what I'd like to do is do my own version of the triangle attack where I train all three marksmen. And the triangle attack is Leo goes and shoots you, Rolf goes and shoots you, and then Shinnon shoots you, and then you're dead.
Yeah.
Meg! Meg is awesome.
Meg's a good tank.
Meg's a really good tank. I'm not using her so much now because I need people who are faster and more accurate. Yeah. But really, as you've been seeing throughout this entire playthrough, Meg is the one that you don't have to worry about. I'm like, oh my god, this character! Oh my god, that character! Oh yeah, Meg's gonna school everyone.
Yeah. Yep. Meg is actually... I almost speculate that she would be good to train in hard mode.
Yeah?
just because of like don't have to worry about her getting screwed over by crits early game before her luck could technically take care of it.
There are people with crits of above 30 in the end game.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't use her against Sephiroth, but I think I did in our earlier playthrough, because it was just like, oh crap, Sephiroth can crit half my party. He can't crit Meg.
But the point I'm making is that what surprised me about Meg is that most weak characters like Meg and Leonardo come into quote-unquote weak characters. They come into their own during the end game when all their stats start capping out and stuff.
That's certainly the case with Leonardo.
Meg actually really came into her own like early and mid game. About
when she's caught up in levels with the rest of Micaiah's party.
Yeah. That's when she really came into her own, where she was like just this. She wasn't like as straight up sturdy as Aaron. It was kind of this funny inversion where Aaron was your armor knight and Meg was like your mercenary with one less movement and a weakness to armor slaying weapons, and
better resistance.
Yeah.
God, Raven's resistance. I weep for it. Anyway.
But
Meg, I think Meg is probably my favorite character in this game. I'm just kidding. Except for Hart and Ike and Soren. But there's lots of characters I like, and Meg is one of the ones I like the best.
Yeah.
Jill!
Was a beast in the Radiance? Still a beast in Radiant Dawn.
And again, I think she's a better endgame Dragon Lord than her male counterpart because of speed and resistance. Even though her resistance is only a little bit better than ours, but every little bit helps, and mostly her speed. Thank you for your 35 speed. It's been so useful.
She is pretty amazing.
Volk! Volk turned out not quite as useful as we thought he would be.
Yeah.
Which...
I feel kind of dumb now.
Well, I don't know. I don't think he was hurting my party.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't like, oh god, darn it, Volk, I wish we'd brought...
It's like, we wish we brought Zhark or something.
Or Mia or something. But no, I had the room for him and I brought him and, you know...
Mostly he just kind of hung around in the back and when he came in and...
Stabbed people in the face!
Yeah.
Like I wish that we had him for more of the game. I think there were definitely chapters where I wish I had Volk.
Yeah.
There were particular chapters where you wanted Volk.
Mm-hmm.
When he finally comes, you're in chapters where you're like,
We need just guys who can do like obscene amounts of damage without having to count on crits or lethality. Also, yeah.
I think that assassins were the very, very best in Fire Emblem 7.
Yeah.
That when they use swords and you could boost their crit rates with supports.
Yeah, it's just like
that's another discussion entirely. Let's move on. Rayson, you're a Heron. Yep.
You're a Heron.
I like him character-wise the best.
Yep. Heron.
And this is the only. Yeah, I like him. He's good.
If I were to play this game, I might try Raphael. Just see how awesome it is being able to chant for 4 people in the first turn. Like, maybe I might go crazy try-hard mode and try to, like, one-turn some of these final chapters and see what it would take.
Nasir, we haven't trained him at all, really.
Don't know what to make of you.
Yeah, I pulled Nihil off him and gave him pass and celerity. Oh, I was gonna put celerity on someone else real quick.
Oh, alright.
Kanagas, we gave him a little BXP. You want to note, he is now at 18 speed. That's important.
Mm-hmm. He's good early mid game, late game, nah.
Well, look at him. Look at his levels.
Well, if you were to train him, he might be kind of like.
If I trained him, he would be looking like kind of like these
guys. He looked kind of like Volk.
Only worse strength.
Yeah.
And skill. And defense, and better. Yeah. Anyway.
I definitely, as a thief, I thought he was more, I did think he was more handy than Heather, just because of his high strength. Mm-hmm. Like, his speed was high enough, and his strength was high enough for stealing.
Gareth! You're just a liability to me, sorry man.
Sorry.
Here we are, okay. Really quickly now, I'm gonna go into skills, and really quickly, oh, no, not Kuzan. Where are we?
Nasir.
There we are. You don't need celerity.
Just pop it on the other person.
But pass is important. do. Okay. Let's look at this info. This conversation,
Yep.
you only get if it's your. Is it second playthrough?
If you transferred an ace.
No, but is it second playthrough?
I don't know.
Okay, we don't know if you can get it on your first playthrough, but it's if you get Soren and Ike A support in Path of Radiance, do transfer data and get them A support for the Endgame, and if they have A support on the Endgame of Radiant Dawn as well, then you get this conversation. Also known as the Rondie becomes a crazy fangirl. Ike, were you joking when you said you couldn't remember how we met? Well, sort of. It's a long time ago. How could you forget, Ike? Relax, Soren. I got to thinking, and I remembered. I remember what happened in Galia on the day we first met. Oh, Ike. Mother had gone shopping with Miss that day. I was wandering around the village all alone. I walked to the edge of the forest, looking for a stick I could pretend was a sword. There was a raven-haired boy lying on the ground, and I thought, that's funny. I remember the huge oak tree by the clearing. I'd been sleeping in the hollow by the roots. He looked like he was my age. He was as skinny as a twig, wearing rags and covered in dirt. He looked really bad. Anyway, I took out my lunch and I handed it to him. He made a noise like a scared animal and shied away. He was suspicious of me at first, but eventually he took my sandwich and started to eat it, and I figured, well, if he can eat a sandwich, he can't be all bad. But it was like he'd never eaten before in his life. I didn't have anything else to feed him, so I told him to come to my house, but he kept shaking his head no. I was afraid you were going to trick me. Afraid you were going to chase me away after taunting me with food just for a laugh. I told the boy I'd bring him some food the next day at the same time and place. He finally nodded when I said that. It made me happy. I felt like I was doing something right, helping this boy. Like I was the only one who'd do that. I was happy too. Not just because I wasn't hungry anymore, because someone would finally talk to me. So I went back to the village again the next day. I was scared of the other villagers and their rocks and sticks, but I still went back. That's right, that was Galia back then. The Bjork abused and tormented the branded because the Lagoos shunned them. They wanted to avoid upsetting the Lagoos. Villagers threw stones at me, called me an animal and a devil. But on the next day, the village was littered with corpses, soldiers and peasants. I went in a panic. Yeah, that was my dad. He kind of went crazy when the spirit of chaos in the battalion touched him, and I walked through the empty streets, checking bodies to see if you were dead, but I couldn't find you. I decided that you had to be alive. I took money and food from the village and headed for Crimea. Oh, excuse me, wrong voice! I decided that you had to be alive. I took money and food from the village and headed for Crimea, a land of Bjorks. Wow, Soren. When I made it to Crimea, I kept seeing Lagoos from the Beast tribe. They were terrifying, but after a while, I realized something. They never attacked me. They all seemed to notice something about me and then pretend they couldn't see me. That look was burned into my mind, and it was always the same. They'd scowl and then walk away like they'd never noticed me. In a way, that left me feeling colder and more alone than if they'd attacked me. Hate. That I can understand. This was denial. They made me feel like I wasn't supposed to exist at all. That my simply being alive was an affront to the world. That was how the beasts treated me, and I hated them for it. It sat in my heart like a lead bar, like a glacier. Big, icy glacier of hate. Hate, 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 hate. When I reached Crimea, I took refuge in a church along the way. He took my brand to be a sign that I had been trained in the arcane arts. He took good care of me and taught me things. Once I had learned to speak and behave like other people, I wandered Crimea for several years. Then I finally found you. But Yes, you'd forgotten that day in Galia. But I didn't care. My only wish was to see you again. I just wanted to see the only person who had held out a warm hand when I had nothing. Oh, Soren, don't cry. You know I hate it when I... Don't cry. What? I'm not crying. I just had something in my eye. Soren, you're smart, but you're no good when it comes to your emotions. Come over here. Don't treat me like a child. I'm not gonna treat you like a child. But there are other people watching. Shut up! Shut up! Then I'll come over to you! It's all in the past, Soren. Yes, Soren? You're kind of crushing me against your massive pauldrons. Oh, sorry about that. Yes, this armor. My goodness. Yes, very sharp, pokey. I'm sorry. Would it be better if I took it off? We're kind of about to have a big battle.
Are you quite through yet?
We're having a moment, Ashira. Go away. It's a beautiful thing. I don't know. If you can't ship Ike and Soren after that, you have a cold heart of stone, and I want nothing to do with you.
I guess some people would just friendship them. I don't know.
Queer baiting, that's what this is. Anyway, let's go kill a goddess. Or smack some sense into her. Let me just look at my... 6. Yeah, okay. Alright. Here we go.
Yes. We go now.